And it says we're live.
Yeah, lies.
Yeah,
I like
lies
the fact
like a
that
rug.
it tells you you're live, but
Yeah.
there's nothing happening at that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's, ink. And sometimes it doesn't ink unfreeze.
Popcorn handy, ready for fireworks. Oh, there are going to be fireworks. There are multiple fireworks.
Well, first, since we didn't do it on Tuesday,
Oh,
And I'm sitting in the middle now, so I can do this.
King Harv's Coffee. Buy some.
let them know you heard about it here.
Support the Blanket Fort and
Yes.
King Harv's.
Other side, yeah.
You don't like my crayon? It's KOFI.com. The Blanket Fort. Support the Blanket Fort. Keep the heat on.
No kidding.
Unlike the people down south who are in their 80
80
degrees, it ain't there up here.
And if you missed the link, you can find it in the North Texas Troublemakers group on Facebook for those of you that are Facebook. And we should probably put it up on our blogs somewhere
Yeah,
that
no
people
kidding.
can find it so that the non-Facebookers can find things.
Yeah,
My-
Rafter, you can shut up too.
My squirrels once are marching in lockstep, so it's going to be a good day.
I'm looking
I'll
at that
just sit here
Katie.
quietly.
I'm looking at Katie, whatever, and all I can think of is KOR and the voice of Cornfield County.
Yeah. Yeah, Joel, that's one of my pet peeves is they formally laid the keel of the USS Arizona
Wait, what?
SSN 803 yesterday, which I totally disagree with.
I wouldn't
Oh.
have thought they'd use the Arizona again.
No, me either.
They are.
Who okayed this?
I'm not Navy and I'm unhappy.
Apparently DOD.
No, for God's sake.
So I think it's a mistake.
Well, it's not like we have anybody running things at this present moment in our country that cares about history or anything like that.
Well, that's true. But a lot of veterans on the sites that I was on yesterday are well and truly pissed because this is taking something that to the Navy is critical for the Navy's heritage.
For some reason, I thought the Arizona was still held as being
Active.
in service.
Yeah, that's the impression that I was in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, I can totally believe that your dad would be rolling in his grave.
Yeah. But, we're just the peons that served. So we don't get a say.
Speaking of, today, the ficus decided to do something incredibly stupid, which is not necessarily a newsworthy time these days. However, the U.S. currently has or had 2 people being held in the Russian prison system. We've got a numbnut Marine who's currently doing 16 for espionage on bullshit charges. And we had an idiot basketball player with a
Drug problem.
online valise full or onboard valise full of stuff the Russians don't like that she knew they didn't like. So the ficus decided to trade. Okay, there are so many layers to this lasagna. So we were hanging on to a Russian whom the Nicolas Cage character in Lord of War was loosely based on.
Yep.
I mean, the actual Russian guy was not quite as charismatic. He sold guns to everybody. If there was a war where kids were getting shot full of holes, he probably supplied the guns to at least one side, probably both. So this schmuck, who is directly responsible for multiple deaths, still has networks. Because if you sell that many guns to that many despots for that many years, you have a really good network. So this guy's network is still active, even though he was sitting on his butt in a U.S. prison. So the ficus, the houseplant in chief, decided to trade this merchant of death for a doper basketball player. And the fun part, the really fun part about this was he traded the basketball player for somebody who sold countless millions of AK-47s to various people who didn't need them, and then left the signing to go to a candlelight vigil for the victims of gun violence.
Now it's my turn.
Oh, I'm not done, but knock yourself out.
They're gonna swap off. I'm sitting here drawing.
There's one sane one amongst us, and it ain't either one of us on the end.
And ain't any one of y'all on that side.
The problem that I have with it is the number of people that are coming out and saying, oh, well, they did the best they could do. Bullshit.
No, they didn't.
This is a classic case of pandering to the base. Plain and simple.
Small base.
Yeah, but it's pandering to the base.
What you mean, like promising?
Go ahead.
You mean like promising to pay off student loans, and then you file them instead of using was it the 2007 Patriot Act educational stuff to file the forgiveness of loans? You use the 1965 one that you know won't pass.
Yeah.
And then you announce 2 days after the election, oh, we tried as hard as we could, but shoot, it's just not. We're gonna keep trying, y'all, you guys, but it's not looking good. But we're gonna do our best. We're trying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
disingenuous. It's a shell game.
Yep, that's all it is.
Shell game.
And yes, there are actually 4 Americans that have been left over there.
I knew about 2.
Yeah, Waylon, Griner, the teacher, and there's one more.
Huh.
Here's another question. Of all those people, who absolutely did what they were accused of by the Russians?
Griner
Thank you.
is the only one. So there, all these people are coming out and going, oh, well, they did the best they can.
No, they didn't.
You know, this official said, bullshit. Who is that official? What is the son of a bitch's name that said, oh, we did our best? Americans could have gone in there, gone to Putin and said, hey, you know, we want all of our Americans back for this guy. Deal or no deal?
And if they'd have held on long enough, he'd have given, because he needs that guy.
He needs him, yeah.
He needs his contacts.
Yes, exactly.
If they'd have held on, he'd have given up.
But instead, oh, well, Putin said we could have Griner or nobody. Where is the recording?
Well, what's wrong with nobody at that point?
No,
Exactly.
You just go, okay, and then you step back.
Yep.
They'll deal. They will make a deal as
Yeah.
long as you hang on.
Americans are terrible at negotiation. I
No
run into
kidding.
this. I run into this when I'm out just junking around at like garage sales or flea markets or whatnot. If I want to dicker for an item, a lot of them I'll make an offer and they'll take the first offer, which is fine by me.
Yeah.
It's a Courtney.
But it's more
It's a
fun
very
to go
sleepy
back and
Courtney.
forth. You never
Yeah.
take the first offer, because if you take the first offer, you're leaving stuff on the table.
Well, not only that, but in a whole bunch of places, if you take the first offer, that's insulting.
Yes.
Which Americans can't wrap their minds around.
no.
That it's insulting to give the person more money than they expect.
Yeah, after negotiation is saying something soothing while you pull the trigger, right? No, that's diplomacy. Yeah.
Say
Either
nice doggy while you find a big enough stick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the problem that I have with it is they rolled over.
Oh yeah.
All they did is they wanted Griner back so they could pander to their base. They could care less about white guys, former military that are over there for a bigger cock up BS conviction than anything Griner had. Griner actually did it.
Griner got caught dirty and admitted to it.
Wayland, on the other hand, he was over there. Hey, Jonna.
Oh, John.
He was over there doing security for an auto parts manufacturer. And I will bet money what happened with him was the Russians wanted him to give them access too.
Oh yeah.
And he said no. And they went, okay, you're a spy.
Well, that's the thing. Well, he was a CIA spy. He was a Marine with a bad conduct discharge. CIA, bless their little hearts.
Yeah.
It's not going to hire a Marine with a bad conduct discharge for embezzlement.
Hey, Cindy, my old friend Cindy Barrow's on here. She's a nurse out of South Georgia who is also an excellent, excellent cook. I would love to see the
Ah.
two of y'all comparing notes on cooking cakes and pies.
Ooh.
So,
So Cindy, you got stories about Jim?
Hush.
oh dear. Okay, my second thing, and this is bouncing off something my little Rita did to me. If y'all follow the BBC, the senior lady in waiting for the now dearly departed Queen recently got sacked and or resigned because she got set up by a moron in England. This moron, real big on Pan-African bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the part I want to get into, because I can, is said moron's name is Ngozi Fulani. Okay. This is her assumed name. This is not, it's Chris Chapman or something.
No, I think it's Melanie Hayward.
Melanie Hayward has adopted the name Ngozi Fulani. Okay, sounds good.
A good British name.
Okay, no, it's not, because, and please allow me to speak. Ngozi is an Igbo name. Fulani is a term for somebody of the Fula. Fulani is a person of Fula tribe. Fula or Hausa. Igbo are coastal animist Christians. Hausa are inland towards the north Muslims. In the grand scheme of things, what this boils down to, for the American too long didn't read, was Igbo got stuffed on the boats. The Hausa did the stuffing.
Yep.
Okay? All right. So, Ngozi Fulani, Igbo first name, Hausa last name.
These are
To-
two things that do not mix.
Yeah.
She's getting it. Okay. To put this as something that wiped Rita out at lunch, to put this into an American context, Ngozi Fulani running her mush about slavery is a great deal like somebody named Asher Silverstein Hitler, running his mouth about what the Jews did to his granddad.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, California, who never had slavery, has now decided
Oh, reparations.
that they're going to pay $500 billion in reparations.
Of whose money? Because it's not theirs. California doesn't have any of that money.
Oh, it's coming out of the state coffers from somewhere. They're going to pay $500 million in reparations to black people living in California who were never slaves, never descendants of slaves or anything else, because it's the right thing to do.
I thought they said
And they're taking the money from the whites who never owned slaves
Yeah.
to do
I
it.
thought they said they had to prove that their lineage was slaves.
Oh no. Oh no. They tried that years ago. Remember, Rita, with the black farmers?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, that's another whole story.
Yeah. So people that were never slaves are going to be receiving or allegedly receiving money from people who never owned slaves.
Yep.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But if anyway, so Ngozi Fulani, two decent names. Ngozi, if you're an Igbo, it's great, beautiful name, beautiful girl's name. Fulani, if you're Hausa, is the name of your tribe. Put the two together, Asher Silverstein Hitler.
Yep. Yeah. Jana says, so don't expect it to be anything but a publicity stunt. Yep.
It's California.
It's California.
Well, maybe the governor's hoping he did enough votes, legitimate votes, to get elected this time.
Yeah.
Not sure that's possible. For
And
that
speaking of
particular-
California and Hollyweird, one millennial, Miss Jennifer Lawrence,
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh yes, I saw that.
made a pronouncement on an interview with Variety that she is the first woman ever cast as a action hero.
The leading action hero.
What about Sigourney Weaver?
How about
I mean, we
the
can
woman
make
that
a
played
long-
Laura Croft?
Right.
That was after Sigourney Weaver.
I'm just
Angelina Jolie. What about the girl that played Sarah Connor?
Yeah.
Well, for that matter, what about Sullivan woman played lead with Tarzan?
Yeah.
in a lot of
Well,
movies. She was an
well,
action hero.
What about
Yes,
going
but
back
she was
further
a-
than
not
that?
the
She wasn't a
lead.
leading action hero.
Yeah.
Pam Grier.
Oh, Pam Grier.
Yeah.
Woo!
Mm.
Yeah. You know, those are the real action hero women.
Well,
So
okay.
what Lawrence did with her petty little BS wokeism is she just, dissed all these women who had come before her. Hamilton, that was her lady's name.
This is the same thing that we saw them doing with
Exactly.
science fiction.
Yeah.
With the whole, there were no women in science fiction before 2000s, because they wanted to be the heroes, but in order to be the heroes, they had to erase
Yeah.
all the women that had come before them.
I would like
Yeah.
to
Linda Carter and Wonder
yeah.
Woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
jump started my
Uh,
lot of things.
the $6 billion woman.
The Wonder Woman or Bionic Woman. I
Yeah.
got up every morning to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diana
Diana
Rigg.
Rigg.
Somebody else pointed that
Oh
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
my
Emma
gosh.
Peel.
Any actress who played Joan of Arc. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Linda-
can make
Linda
a
Carter.
list, a long list.
Yeah.
The girl in True Grit.
Well, what gets me is this Variety person that was interviewing didn't query her on where she came up with that.
Nothing happened for a lot of millennials, especially if you're a blonde bimbo.
Nothing happened before
not-
2010.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah,
Before they were born doesn't exist to them.
yeah,
They
not-
don't.
I swear to God, on the internet, nothing prior to 1994, when the internet was opened up, exists.
Now, don't be mean to Jennifer Lawrence. She's just trying to pull focus from the fact that
That she can't
boinked-
act.
That she boinked Harvey Weinstein a whole bunch for all those Academy Awards.
Oh,
Sorry.
whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, that is true.
Yeah,
That is true.
there's another good one there.
Oh,
Princess
goodness.
Leia in Star Wars.
Allegedly.
I thought she was trying to cover up the fact she can't act.
Well, there's that too.
She's cute. She doesn't have to.
Ignorance is correctable.
They're called boobs.
This is beyond ignorance, stupid, and you can't fix stupid. Yeah. Variety is not a newspaper, it's a PR conduit. Yeah, that's actually pretty much true.
I think that's
Oh.
probably the case for most media these days. It's not journalism; it's a PR conduit for whoever's
it's propaganda.
paying
It's
them.
propaganda for the
Oh.
for somebody.
And Tom says, I've met Jennifer Lawrence's family. The apple didn't fall far from that tree. Oh. Oh.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, the Ripley character in 4 movies, Richard. I cannot remember what that woman's
Ellen
name
Ripley?
was. Huh?
Sigourney
Sigourney
Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver, yeah.
I already said that.
Yes, I think we're all saying things over and over again because.
We're shocked that anybody would make such a pronouncement.
It's such a
Yeah.
stupid pronouncement.
Yeah. Hey, Freeman. Stupid is as stupid does. Yeah, Rick. Well, that's pretty much true. Speaking of which, as a former submariner, have you seen the Connecticut's investigation report? If you haven't, go look it up. It's ugly. It is just flat ugly. It's a miracle they didn't lose the boat.
That's the great thing about being Army. You don't sink.
Well, you might, but you can wade the rest of the way across.
I can walk home.
Now that's the Coast Guard that can walk home from sinking.
Oh,
That's why they have to be
speaking,
6 feet tall.
speaking of go Army beat Navy, I would like to point out that the Army does not require the citizens of the Coast Guard to have pretty babies.
Why am I in the middle of this one? I mean, if I'm going to pick a side, unfortunately, I have to go with the family thing because Dad was Air Force and so was Grandpa.
Well, at least the army,
Oh, neutral.
at least the army doesn't think that Rachel Levine is the hot chick.
I actually was going to ask, what are do the Army and the Navy? I'm assuming they have mascots. For some
Yes.
reason, I'm thinking there's a goat involved.
Navy has a goat. The Army has a mule,
Okay,
which
so
doesn't.
goats and mules.
Yeah.
I can draw these things. That was what I was trying to figure out.
Wow.
I'm surprised that Jim used the term mule. I expected the J word.
I will give them credit for having mules. The jackasses are ones in the barracks.
Okay, Space Marines, the deadline is, I believe, at the end of the month. Ian can correct
Courtney!
me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Oh, we
okay.
have a Courtney in the
Yes,
house.
Court-
Space Marines the deadline for Space Marines is the 31st of December.
31st of December,
And
folks.
if
You
all
heard it.
wait till the 31st to get me in stories, I will beat each and every one of you.
You heard it here first.
Will
Right.
you wear the boots when you?
I'm going to wear the boots.
And the
There you go.
bustier?
But at least she'll wear the boots.
Only the good ones get the bustier.
What's the deadline for Moggies in space, Rita?
I need to discuss that with someone smarter than me. So when Courtney has a minute, it was originally, was it January 31st?
I think so.
Do you think I need to change it?
Did she
We'll
just
talk.
bypass everybody else in the room?
Yes, she did. All right. So Moggies in space, tentatively January 31st. That may change. We'll see.
Hey, Sir Brash, you're here. That's what counts.
Which follows because cats couldn't follow a schedule if you tattooed it on their tiny little foreheads.
Yeah,
Um,
it's assuming you can get them to hold still long enough to tattoo them.
Our cat has been recently, so the boy has a job and has been, this first week is training. So he's working mornings, which will shift to evenings later because that's his school schedule next semester. So the cat will come into my office and sleep on the soft chair in the office while the boy is gone because then she's close to her people.
speaking of cats,
Uh-oh.
if John Van Stry wasn't still on a high from his orange #1 tag, we would be scraping him off the ceiling with an egg turner.
Yeah,
The feds have passed a law about big cats.
yeah.
Oh no. I
Oh,
haven't
yes.
heard about this one.
Carol Baskin
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
has managed to talk the feds into a law that only, I think, zoos and somebody else can keep or breed big cats.
Oh, yeah. That's.
John is.
Codicil just for Carol?
Does
Yeah.
that mean Ashbutt's got to go on a diet?
Yeah.
Inspector Gidget might have to go on a diet. She's chunky.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody earlier. Yes, we've extended the deadline for Space Cowboy because we're getting 2 books out of it.
John is in the chat.
Jonna?
No, John. Well, Jonna is as well, but John Van Stry is. He says she did feed her husband to the tigers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feral tigers, oh my. Do savannas count? Probably.
Jonna, Henry is fading away for lack of your company. Just fading. And he'll tell anyone within range of his food bowl that.
He's Jonna kept telling me what a derp cat that was. And I thought, okay,
It can't be that bad.
yeah.
Now he is.
Wow. That is wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
The simple fact that John has kept that cat alive stuns me
Yeah.
because wow.
Dirk Cat, I thought that's repeating yourself, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
not usually.
Yeah, Carlton, you came in late. We've already
Right, well, that one's been talked about.
we've already discussed Griner for bout, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Like that cat, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they share the brain cell between them with orange tabbies, yes.
Yes, orange marmalade cats, one brain cell, they all pass it around.
Yeah, and it's getting worn and kind of
Yeah.
doesn't work as well as it used to.
Oh, I really love a big, slobby, happy orange marmalade Tom. I mean, they are just the best cats.
No cat is good.
Grilled or baked?
I would choose baked.
I like them in chow mein.
No.
Well, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, you get them on the buffet. You know, they're filed under chicken.
The funniest thing I think I've ever had to do
What,
was,
Courtney?
They're too stringy to be chicken.
well, yeah, and that was going to be what I was saying, is when I was doing my anatomy and physiology labs, the second semester is hands-on in the lab, and you're doing dissection. And my particular lab was using a cat.
Yeah.
And I'm in a classroom with a bunch of wannabe nurses. So skewed heavily female. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think if there are any males in there at all, and I don't think there were. I think it was all women, and all very young women. And they had issues with the fact that they were expected to slice into a dead cat.
Yeah.
And not to mention, well, the semester before that, I knew I was in trouble because there was a sheep's brain for talking about brain structure, and no one but me would touch it.
That's the cool part.
Yeah.
It is the cool
Look
part.
at the squishy bits.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's
jelly.
all squishy bit.
Tom is right. Siamese are a pet for people who enjoy being prey. When I was growing up, one of my neighbors had a Siamese older lady. And
A Siamese older lady.
now the older lady had a Siamese.
Good thing you.
And it chewed her up to the point she had to have 160 stitches.
Ooh.
And we beat it to death with baseball bats and sticks
Hmm.
because it was attacking everybody. And
yeah.
when the vet that I worked for did the autopsy, he said, it's a fucking Siamese, period.
Yeah.
It just went off.
Well, at least it wasn't rabid, because that's not.
No, it was dead though. I
Well,
will guarantee
yeah,
you that.
That's. I mean, yes.
So it was a normal Siamese.
Yeah.
We had when I was growing up, we had a kitten that later grew up into being a cat. That
It's
was.
amazing they do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Siamese colored, but not Siamese. She had the seal point markings, but her mother was this little tiny itty bitty black cat that would bring home Alaska snowshoe hares bigger than she was to feed her kittens. And
Murder floof.
Yeah.
yes, just very much murder floof. But Tassie, the Siamese marked cat, was a fantastic huntress. We had her until she was almost 20 years old. And she was a great cat, but she had the color, but not the temperament at all. She was what they call an apple face Siamese, a regular cat face, not the long skinny.
We are Siamese if you please.
Yeah.
We are Siamese if you don't please.
Yeah, Raptor, I would, yeah, your dog is not normal when it purrs and likes tuna. No.
Okay, my dog's not normal either then.
My squirrels just went to hell.
Actually, John, you were talking about cats not tasting good.
Oh, that's what it was.
According to the Old West, especially the mountain men, the cat, mountain lion was highly prized as food because that was supposed to be some of the best tasting, much better than bear and not as good as elk or moose, but much better than bear.
I'm from Africa. Don't ever eat the predators. Period. They're full of parasites.
Yeah, they are, but
Right. That's what I've
you
always been
had
told.
options in Africa that they didn't have up in the mountains.
Mm.
Not sure you call them options.
Well, you had other things that you could eat there.
Oh, okay. Point.
I mean, cane rats.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. Grass cutter is good. Is good. eating.
Nutria is not bad.
No, this is cane rat. Grass cutter's totally different kettle of fish. Looked up one time, and there was a entire pack of natives waving machetes coming down the central street of the Odibo estates in West Africa, and they're waving machetes and screaming, and they're come running up the drive. My mom's sitting in the front porch and just locks up because okay, this is the end. And she didn't see the grass cutter run past her in through the. We hadn't learned to keep the damn sliding door shut. It
Yeah.
ran inside the house.
You would think after the python.
After the python, you think no. So this pack of natives goes running in after the grass cutter, who runs under my dad's feet, who lifts his feet, watches them go by, watches the natives go by, gets up, walks the back door. Grass cutter's under my bed, and he's doing stretches. It's seventh inning. And then takes off again. And there go the natives. He runs into my parents' bedroom, does a couple laps in the parents' bedroom, out through the living room, through the dining room. Native is hot on his tail. And as he runs between the legs of the cook and out the back door, the cook looks up, sees imminent death, and freezes and gets trampled as they disappear into the bush after the grass cutter.
So in other words, a typical day at home.
Yes. Oh, look, Africa.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say the cook looks down, stanches it up, and
If he hadn't seen a whole bunch of people waving machetes and screaming for bloody blue murder, he probably would have. But things kind of got his attention.
RK would like to know what a grass cutter is.
Cane rat.
It's a rat,
It's cane
large
rats.
rat.
It's a very large cane rat. Yeah. Have you ever had guinea pig? Guinea pig is good eating. A grass cutter is like a very big guinea pig, only they're splinters.
And nutria out of South Louisiana swamps is not bad either. Especially grilled with the proper seasoning.
Well, Cajuns, it's like that joke I told on
Aliens.
Facebook the other day. You got Thibodeau and Clotilde out hunting, and they see the saucer land. Little green guys get off,
Yeah.
and Clotilde says, "Thibodeau, what are we going to do?" And Teed says, "Shy, you go on home, start a roux. I'll be right back."
Yeah. Hey, just because, things in the South, zoos, etc., have the description and the recipe,
And the recipes.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and I've been sitting here doing my doodling and it's appropriate time to show that I've been drawing little bears because my introduction to Alaska was roadkill. They brought us a roadkill bear. Sans hide. I mean, that somebody had taken the skin because bear hide.
What road killed a bear?
Something
It's Alaska
big.
truck, I'm sure.
Okay.
It was a black bear, so it was
Oh,
not a terribly
all right.
large bear. I mean, I think stretched out, it might have been the length of this table. It was not a big bear.
No.
300 pounds tops.
Somebody's
No,
insurance
not
com-
even 300
Somebody's
pounds.
insurance company was not happy with them.
Probably not, no, but I mean, it beats hitting a moose because
point.
that'll mess you up.
It beats hitting a deer for that matter.
Yeah.
Bears tend to roll under rather than go through the windshield.
Yeah. Cindy says enough garlic, cayenne pepper, or vanilla makes almost anything palatable.
But let's not mix those because garlic and vanilla, no.
That sounds like a challenge.
No. There were things that just you learn by experience and then you don't do that again.
A friend of mine up in Alaska is a retired Air Force E9 who liked it and stayed and became an Alaska State Trooper. And he sent me pictures of one of his quote unquote traffic stops one night. Was an emergency call out. A van had hit a moose.
Mm-hmm.
Woman driver with a baby in the back of the car.
Oh,
dear.
no.
Oh dear.
And he got there, and the woman is standing outside screaming at him to save the baby. And he goes to open the side door and gets kicked by the moose, who's still
Oh.
alive.
Oh no.
And he's going, "Where's the baby?" And she goes, "In there." So he caps the moose
Right then.
twice with a 45-70. Goes around, pulls the baby seat out, and the baby's sitting there giggling and laughing, going, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." Didn't have a scratch on it.
A very lucky baby.
Very lucky baby. The van was totally destroyed.
Oh yeah.
It came in through the windshield, bounced off the second seat where the baby was, and was in the trunk or the back area with
Mhm.
its feet sticking forward.
Yeah, because when you hit a mooses,
Mooses.
horses or elk,
Yeah.
With a car, you cut the legs out, and then that big ass body comes to the windshield.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I probably told this story before, but I wrote just a little throwaway thing into Pixie Noir of a couple getting killed when they hit a buffalo or a bison on the road up there in Alaska on the Alaska Highway. And my head beta readers object to that because there are no bison in Alaska. Well, there most certainly are. And the incident was a real one that happened to the parents of a friend of mine, and alcohol was almost certainly involved. He had fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh.
But when you hit something that large at a high rate of speed, it comes right into the vehicle with you.
Yep. Tom says, "Trunk moose, a new feature for the 2023 Dodge Caravan."
Much preferable to a trunk monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, which I'm laughing, but I'm also thinking that the book that I just released, I put a section in the end of it promoting various friends in North Texas troublemakers, and including Tom's mini Vandians,
Yes.
because It
Speaking
is.
of which, talk about your new book. I forgot all about that.
Oh, yes. Crow Moon is a collection of 8 fantasy stories.
You get the tiara of new book.
Okay. Is that
New
what this
release.
is?
The tiara of new release.
Crow Moon is a collection of 8 fantasy stories, and some of them, 3, maybe 4 of them, have appeared elsewhere in print before, anthologies, but 3 of them have never been. Oh, look, trolls.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
There are no trolls in the fantasy stories, but there are goblins.
Not Tom, not Tom.
Oh, I know. Freaking thing moved on me.
So yeah, if you want a fun read, then I have stories. And at the end of the book, what I did was I wanted to not just promote my other stories by authors, but I also was like, okay, if you like this and you're a voracious reader and I can't keep up with you because I can't write
Yeah.
fast enough to make everyone happy, you might also like, and I gave titles of various people that wrote things that would go along with the fantasy stories in Crow Moon. And yeah, so I don't know how it's going to do. This is part of my experiment with publishing velocity. I'm trying to publish something every month, even if it's something like an art book or the next collaboration with Law Dog, which I have to finish drawing.
Oh, I did turn in it.
You did.
There were a considerable number of complaints over the coloring books because there's no new material. I'm not sure what the hell they thought the pictures that
Because a lot of them aren't there for the pictures.
well, they still got new stuff. They need to anyway. So on this one, there's a new story that I might have told while under the influence of alcohol.
But hasn't been in print before.
It's never been in print before. So
So.
not only in the latest one do you get the Squeak saga, but you get a new story about a goat
That is a good story.
with pictures that I may have.
Oh, with picture that I want to see.
She draw the pictures.
I'm going to be drawing pictures.
Oh,
She draw the
Okay.
pictures.
I
Courtney.
took a little time off so that I could deal with getting Crow Moon published. Actually, I published it by accident. I meant to hit the save as draft button because I had everything all lined up, and I accidentally hit the publish button, and I was like, "Oh crap! I didn't want it. Never mind." And then Amazon approved it in like an hour.
Yeah.
It always seems to
I
be.
didn't have time to change my mind and take it back.
It's this seems to be the habit because I've heard Courtney swearing about this. Is when you push publish and you want it to publish, Amazon goes, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually because you have to 72
If you
hours.
go there, oops, oh shit, I didn't mean to publish that. Bang, it's up.
And you have 5 sales before you can take it down. You're like, well, all right, guess
Yeah.
we're rolling with this.
By the way, Cindy, since this is your first time on here, the chat and the commentary usually are widely divergent. So you're not missing anything. It's a question of which one you want to read and laugh at the most, the chat or the us talking.
Because you've got 2 choices.
Yeah, and
Oh.
Julie, she did say garlic or vanilla, not both.
Yes.
So I think there's somebody on here who's actually heard the African warlord story.
A few people, like damn near everybody on here.
I know, but I haven't told it that many places.
He only tells it in person. It's
And
not-
I have to be
Again,
fairly
with the-
intoxicated. However, I'm considering putting that one in the next Law Dog and Cedar coloring book collaboration. Please don't yell at me.
Jesse says another glow stick arcs into the distance.
Speaking of Jesse, happy birthday, Jesse.
Yes,
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Garlic ice cream. No, that sucks, Richard. Tried it at Gilroy at the Garlic Festival. No.
Oh, okay. The tiara of new release. The recovery of my books. There is no recovery of my books. Allegedly, my publisher says that they've taken all theirs down, and what's currently being sold as new, unread, are coming from pirate sites.
Yeah.
So don't get me started. Folks may have seen a teaser I threw up with a new cover for the Law Dog Files.
Yep.
Leota's on here somewhere.
Is she? I did-
Not
Oh, well,
today.
she might have been.
No, because
So,
she's somewhere having fun, so she may not be on today.
okay.
True.
So we are going to be re-releasing the Law Dog files. However, these are going to be different. We're going to be going back to the original edit before somebody thought he could make them better.
Yeah.
We're going back to the original edit. We're taking out the shift reports that apparently nobody liked. Well, those are coming out. And then Leota is picking some of my philosophical articles and putting them in there instead of the shift reports.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of stories that I'm trying to recreate that didn't make it in there. For some reason, I didn't put them in there.
Mhm.
So these will be in there.
Yeah, a few of us enjoyed the shift reports,
Well,
but
yeah, I'm just going to say some of us enjoy the shift reports.
Yeah, but by and large, that was the one bitch about the Law Dog
Yeah.
files is, I didn't like the shift reports. All right.
Eh, I
someone's
mean-
head is a coloring page.
The cover, by the way, is great. Sanford took one look at it and was like, we need to get the print version of that. I like that cover.
Hang on a
So,
second. Let me find the cover.
It's really
Kermit-
cool.
in time.
Yeah.
What's Kermit wanting this time?
An audible version read by the author.
No.
Okay.
And I say that because we tried. Rita, bless her heart, Rita actually found me a studio in Wichita, Itchy Paws, where I could record me.
Yes,
telling
John,
stories.
it will also be a hard copy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I have
That's
anything,
going to be complicated because
why? Why is it?
Inkstain Press actually has the digital version. Sarah Hoyt actually has contract for digital version.
Mhm.
We're doing the hard copy, so it's going to be a little complicated.
Okay, I was going to say, it's not that complicated. I have vellum.
Yeah.
It can happen.
We can make this happen.
Yeah.
It will be, things will be done. It will be, you will be able to get all the versions except for audio that you're going to
Anyway,
want.
before my squirrels threw their glow sticks hither and yon, Rita found a studio where I could actually read the stories. I thought it would be easy because I tell the stories, and people tell me I'm rather good at it. If I don't have audience feedback, I can't. It doesn't work.
So the easy thing to do with that is to get a group of us together, mix up some Moscow mules, and put the recording on.
And we'll sit over here in the corner.
Well,
Right?
the thing of it,
Sit you in the comfy chair over there. We'll sit on the couch and
The
laugh
thing-
over
Hell
the
no, we
voices.
get the couch. He can sit over here.
actually, what I should probably do is because allegedly watching me do it is almost as funny as hearing me do it.
Yes.
I need to do some sort of video version.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I think that's probably a really good idea.
Hmm
Yeah.
Because
I honestly do think that
We have the setup
this,
right
Right.
here.
but we were talking about doing the broadcast on Saturdays.
Mhm.
We could do, short stories.
But what
Yeah.
I need to do is
or
an
sto- or
actual
story
audience.
time.
I suppose I need to start recording myself at cons because when I'm doing the No Shit There I Was panel, and either people are expecting to fall out or there's some magic because I tell a story and people start winding up rolling in the aisles.
So what you're saying is you're a stand-up comedian.
Apparently I'm a sit-down comedian.
Well,
Oh.
apparently that was everybody that was telling stories on that
Oh,
particular.
no kidding.
Mhm.
Oh, gee. If you've never heard Alex Wackel's story of the fallopian line or the fallopian tube,
Yeah. Oh,
I
God.
have
That-
not, and
I heard it for the first time. So FenCon?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I don't usually make it to the No Shit There I Was because I'm a morning person and they're always incredibly late at night and I'm exhausted.
For a reason.
Yeah.
I
think
know,
yeah.
And we still had kids in there.
but
Oh, no kidding.
Wait,
FinCon, I felt so sorry
scarring
for
them in all the
FinCon
best ways.
because there was me, Kelly Grayson, and Alex, who we didn't know was that good.
Yeah.
Alex telling the fallopian tube story. Oh my God, that man can tell a story.
Well, you should have remembered from the last Fool's Con that we had.
I wasn't sober.
Well, this is true. But he was out telling stories with the rest of us.
And I don't remember because somebody on here, two people on here, were feeding me booze.
I just remember, I got a couple of drinks, came down, sat for a couple hours, wandered back up to the party, got some more drinks, came down. You guys were still talking. It was great.
Oh, FoolsCon this year, I got the drunkest I've been. I've only ever been drunk like 3 times.
Okay,
So
Yeah, and John,
we're at
and John
FoolsCon.
is sitting over there going blinks innocently.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I'm sitting at a table at FoolsCon, and Tom Rogamy starts this off. Tom and Tully Roberts got me started. And they were, try this. Well, what do you think of this? Try this. And before I'd known it, I was kind of happy. So I'm telling stories because I'm relaxed and telling stories. John is sitting where Cedar is. So I pick my one of those little bitty tiny shot glass solo cups, and I drank it. That was really good. Set it down, tell a story, pick it up. Obviously, I didn't drink any because there's more fluid in it. I drink that, tell another story. Oh, look, there's still alcohol in here. She got me so drunk.
Tom says, mission accomplished.
And between the two, the first 4 anthologies, those two,
Yeah.
and Tully. Tully was
So
Tom
you can
Rogamy.
say thank you to Tom and Jonna next time you see
Yeah.
them.
Tom Rogamy, John Hayden, and Tully they're the reason we have the first 4 anthologies. And my friggin' hangover the next day.
Oh, it was not as bad as the one at Tulsa.
Oh,
FoolsCon
Jesus.
was the morning
You guys
after.
rolled in looking just.
So because I don't see this, because I don't stay up until 2:00 in the morning for nobody. Okay, no, there was that once at LTUE. It involved the Cards Against Humanity game. That was an evening, but so I don't see or hear anything about this until I show up for the first panel in the morning,
The Malta panel.
Yeah.
and Ian comes in and Kelly comes in, and they look like someone has scraped them off the floor with a spatula and not so gently decanted them into their clothing. And Ian is leaning against the wall, holding himself up on the molding.
Yeah.
Because again, somebody in the comments, Kelly and I were bouncing stories of each other, and somebody kept tipping booze into our cups.
Jonna and Courtney. And I was smart enough to leave.
Me? Would I do a thing like that?
And
And
two
you
more,
notice that Ian never got drunk himself. It's always somebody got him drunk.
yeah, and two more.
And took advantage of him.
The 2 more anthologies came out of that one because apparently they get me drunk and then start talking about anthologies. And apparently I go, okay, sounds like a good idea.
And there are
Oh.
pictures.
Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
please do make a mead named Inko Hall. I love that idea. Maybe with some fruit or berries in it to give it some nice bright red
Somebody's
color.
not right.
That would be Michael Giesing in the
Somebody's not right because I like mead and that's just not right. Objection, John was straight up swapping cups for full.
Yes.
I remember. And there's either Courtney or John, I don't remember because things were kind of foggy, going, oh, you should try this.
I was not handing you samples. I was
Somebody. Jonna was. Oh,
It's never Ian's fault.
I'm here to tell you, guys, if you're going to have a hangover, oil hangovers are not fun.
I will guarantee you they're still better than Mekong whiskey out of Thailand.
Or Jägermeister.
And I will sit here actually blinking innocently because I've never had a hangover.
What?
Challenge accepted.
Hey, at least we don't have to put up with her. Sanford's got her.
We just have to start early because she's a night.
Yeah,
She's a morning
yeah.
person.
Noon, try this stuff.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was going to say we're late
Oh my
already.
gosh. My son has decided for some ungodly reason. Now, mind you, this is the 17-year-old who doesn't actually like the flavor of any alcohol. We have allowed him to try things a couple of times. He can't stand the flavor. He used to object to me putting wine in spaghetti sauce because he said he could taste it. Right. So this is also the child
Peter.
that, because I think YouTube, I'm not sure what, has decided that he wants to learn how to mix drinks. And since he won't drink them because alcohol, he wants Sanford and I to drink said mixed drinks, which in some cases, Sanford very wisely is like, no. And there's been a couple of I wished I had said no to. But the other morning, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's decided he wants me to have, I forget what, in my coffee. And I was like, no, I'm not starting drinking at this hour of the morning. Child.
5
Oh,
o'clock somewhere.
Greg, Bobby Ba's another one.
You
Ugh.
can't day drink unless you start before noon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Bobby Ba had so damn much formaldehyde in it. It wasn't funny.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, Texas bourbon, pecan liqueur, and coffee makes a wonderful combination.
Okay.
Yes, it does. It's very sweet. The pecan liqueur I got is a praline liqueur, and it's like drinking liquid pralines.
This friggin' oil fires like drinking pecan pie.
I can't get oil fire. I tried.
Ugh.
Just have to wander up to.
Yeah, Sir Grass. Mimosas are appropriate for mornings, depending on your hangover. The other thing is Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys for the win.
Oh,
I do have to tell a funny one about
Rita
mimosas.
introduced me to Bloody Marys.
I can't do tomato juice.
Many years ago, we were on deployment over in Bermuda, and for some reason they screwed up the schedule, and we actually had a morning off on a weekend. And there was the Pink Palace in Bermuda, which was the big name hotel over there at the time, and they had a buffet in the mornings on Sunday.
Okay.
So we went up to try the buffet, and they had mimosas. And we proceeded to, having landed late the night before, to imbibe a few mimosas along with the rest of our breakfast, I think.
You drink your breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we damn near ran them out of vodka. We did run them out of orange juice. And we found out that that little brunch was $75.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In what year was this?
This was in the 1980s.
Oh,
Ooh.
Lord.
And some of our guys on the crew did not have $75. So amongst the officers, we're all off in the corner. All right, how much you got? Okay, that covers. Okay, we got. All right, guys, we need $37 more. We managed to cover everybody, managed to give them a tip. But as we got back to base, we said, all right, guys, that's the last time we're doing that.
Rick Randall, friend of ours, former Army. Somebody said something about organized alcoholics, and I mentioned that I did not miss starting a morning PT run drunk and finishing it hungover, and apparently that keyed the scent to Rick, and I got this message was nothing but cuss words. I could smell it.
And that's why I joined the Navy, because I didn't have to get up in the morning and run.
Hey, it was fine. You got 2 miles in, you turned around, you threw up, and then you ran the other 2 miles.
No, I wasn't going to run 2 miles unless it was somebody chasing my
Starting
ass.
that
Well,
run,
what he said.
starting that run drunk and finishing it hungover was just not one to. And I did. The thing is, I did that more than once, and that was not one some of my finer
I mean,
moments.
more than once a week.
Now, I've
Eric.
done tests like that in college classes. Like
Yeah.
that,
Eric
but I'm not
says,
about to do activity like that.
my neighbor always talked about hair of the dog, but I was confused because he only had a Mexican hairless.
It's called tequila.
Oh.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, Rick, you're right. We didn't run much in boot camp either, although we did swim a lot. Soju fumes. Oh,
Ooh.
no, no.
yeah.
No.
Al is right. No.
Mm, yes.
There is one other thing I want to cover. It's serious. And I actually had two people point me at this. One was Ag Tiger, and another one is a friend of mine, David, who also happens to be Canadian. And that is the fact that Canada in the last year has euthanized 10,000 people. This is all under that MAID program. And it's only getting worse.
3% of all deaths.
Yeah.
He's got an
3% of all
article
deaths
up.
in Canada.
And they swore it would never be.
Yeah.
When everybody said we can't do this, it'll get Oh, it'll never be more than about 0.1%.
Yeah. And especially going after Canadian military veterans who are
Yes.
disabled. And this is what kicked a lot of it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it only gets worse when they talk about civilians that went into the hospital with basically a medical issue and never came out. One of which is a guy that was in his 70s. And he went in basically because he'd fallen down. And
They
when
euthanized
they,
him.
huh?
And they euthanized him.
Euthanized him and said, oh, well, he died of COPD, except they never got his medical records from his doctor.
Mhm.
And when they did the autopsy, he did not have COPD.
Whoopsie.
So that's the kind of crap that's going on up there. And you're right, Ag, the autopsies don't jive with the diagnoses. But interestingly enough, they are harvesting the organs.
Oh yeah, you apparently now in order if you have to sign an organ donation thing as part of your
Yeah.
medical assistance in dying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which apparently, if you're Canadian veteran, and you call because you want a stair lift,
Yeah.
in your house, they will
That they-
offer you.
That they promised you 5 years ago.
They will offer you
Yeah.
euthanasia because. you
David,
asked for
no
a
one can
stair lift.
answer whether they're voluntary or involuntary because dead people can't talk.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
Ouija boards are strangely silent on them.
But Canadian medicine is superior to American and everything's free.
Yeah.
Comes the Stark from the back room.
When I consider the number of people I know who say, I moved to the United States because I could get health care here.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a an article this afternoon. I forget where I saw it. Somebody brought it up and was really upset about it. A little girl just died of strep throat because her dad had brought her to the hospital 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
and
get in.
and couldn't get her treated. And so she died of a common childhood illness that technically you don't even need to actually see the doctor to be diagnosed and treated for.
Mhm.
Strep is one of those things that you could do through telemedicine.
Oh,
Mhm.
Tom, it's not stories.
Tom-
There are proven instances of vets calling in for depression being offered made.
The
Yeah.
first one that came to my notice was by way of Angry Cop, and a vet called in because he wanted help with his PTSD.
It was
Yeah.
in Ireland, Cedar.
So the thing is, though, that I mean, we know that this is happening in Canada. It's also happening in Ireland. It was happening in England. Some of the other ones that I've seen were out of Europe. And Holland, I think, is another big one that does a lot of this. And I'm going to say it's probably widespread throughout Europe, and it's only going to get worse with this winter, as
Oh.
bad as it's going to be over there.
Yeah.
I bet they're not offering any of this to immigrants of
It's against their religion.
Oh no, they get full treatment.
It's literally against Muslim religion for
Yeah.
suicide.
Mhm.
I thought it was against Christian religion too.
Yes,
is.
Yes.
that's irrelevant. Because yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NHS has to capitate care, no budgets for real care.
Hmm.
Yeah, a friend of ours is fairly high up with the London ambulance service. And he sent me a link to an article about the number of nurses and doctors that are quitting the National Health Service.
Well, and the ones that they do have, it's against their religion to wash their hands and have sanitary garb.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're right back to the
Middle Ages.
doctors are carrying diseases from patient to patient to patient.
Back to the Middle Ages.
Well,
And he said it's only going to get worse in England.
and
It's only
that's
going to get worse here.
Yeah.
that's the thing of it is that plus the movement towards what the hell? Squirrel just lost the glow stick. The I really lost the glow stick.
Nationalized health.
No, the Ooga Booga medicine.
Yeah.
Oh yes. You know what they
Ooga
call
Booga is
alternative medicine that
Ooga
works?
Booga is just as good.
Medicine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, there's a
Witch doctor.
witch doctor, but it's Indigent knowledge.
There you
Oh
go.
no,
Indigenous.
Indigenous, not indigent knowledge, same difference.
I just found my glow stick. Give me a break.
You have to
Indigenous
shake a little
knowledge
bit more.
Yeah,
Yes, indigenous knowledge,
is every bit as
TCM,
good. No, it's not.
Homeopathy, yeah.
homeopathy. We now know that illness is caused by the smallest toad sitting in your stomach. Well, if it's in your stomach, that might actually be an issue because some toads, people lick them for a good time.
I'm gonna
If it was
grab
one of
this.
those three-toed fishes, yeah.
I'm gonna grab this warty amphibian. Oh look, I see God.
You know what that's proof of, though? Teenage boys have been teenage boys since time immemorial.
Oh,
And Jesse says, hey, no kink shaming.
it's I will guarantee you, she's right. The first person to lick a toad was trying to impress that little girl with a great huge.
Yeah.
or his,
Personalities.
or his
Personality.
buddies had dared him.
Oh, you lick this one, you see God. You lick this one, you see God.
Yeah. Back to the leeches.
Actually, leeches do have a legitimate medicinal
course.
use.
You do.
They do.
Of course.
They are
So do
used-
maggots.
Absolutely. Both leeches and maggots are being used currently. They were not used for a long time, but it's been discovered that leeches are the best way to help with redoing blood flow in amputation cases.
Yeah.
And maggots raised under a sterile condition are absolutely the best way to clean out a deep, nasty wound.
Yeah, dead
Because
tissue.
they'll feed on the dead tissue but not the living.
But what I want to know is how the hell do you sterilize a maggot?
You raise them under sterile
I
conditions.
should say a microwave.
from the
That's just me.
time that they are laid.
Well,
Um,
you get the
completely
water to
controlled.
212 degrees.
Well,
No,
actually,
it's not as the only medical care, but they do actually have legitimate uses.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about the whole, what do you call alternative medicine that works? Medicine.
Yeah.
If it's still alternative medicine, I'm going to look at it more than just sideways.
That was the single worst losing the glow stick I've had since we.
And this goes into the whole thing with, oh, by the way, Pfizer is now suing Moderna for theft of intellectual property over
Oh,
the,
they've been doing that since,
the
Since the
mRNA.
last
That's
3
going back
years.
and forth.
so.
Well,
But-
they're all hoping that some other company will be responsible for it, and they won't be blamed for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
No,
But the
no,
kicker
it
is-
has to do with patents in certain things that were developed, and it actually isn't the mRNA. It's other
It's the
components
components.
of it.
Yeah.
And this is normal standard operating procedure for all the big pharma companies.
Yeah. But the real pain in the ass is, here's a situation where we have something we know works.
Hmm.
What?
We just all read Courtney's shirt, which is oh, okay. Ian's going to capture it so he can share it with you guys.
Okay, that.
We're down to sharing pictures of Courtney's chest. Sorry,
Oh.
Courtney.
But here again, turn the camera, anything. It was too small.
It says, I'm an effing delight.
Yeah.
And I'm a lady, so I'm not going to say the word. I do occasionally say the word, just not on
Well, the
live.
t-shirt doesn't say the word. The t-shirt's got a couple X's in it.
Yeah.
It also has a grumpy bunny
It
with
has
a
a grumpy
pixelated hand.
with a pixelated, and it says, "I'm a fucking delight."
Yeah.
Are you sure it was a
Oh,
pixelated?
yeah.
Are you sure it was a pixelated finger?
You
Not-
are.
It could have been a pixelated switchblade.
True.
That expression, it's a finger.
And on that note, we've
It's that
wasted
time of
another hour of
day.
your time.
Tea turtle, David.
Uh, oh,
I need to
God.
get that shirt for my wife.
It should have been Bun Bun. Yeah.
They have one with a cat as well, but the bunny was more appropriate.
Uh,
With a
was told.
spoon. With a spoon, nerd boy.
yeah. Well, we do appreciate all y'all listening to us and putting up with us. And
Losing our glow sticks left, right, and center.
We need the humor. We
Ah,
really
yeah,
Yeah, we
do.
do. That's
So-
why we originally started this.
yeah,
We originally started this.
that
two-
we've been
2
threatened
years
if we
ago.
ever quit.
We
so-
originally started this 2 years ago to inject a little levity in everybody's lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to be doing that.
Right?
It's a
It was-
clown show.
It was a desperate time calling
Yeah.
for desperate measures because if you think we're funny, you got issues.
Yeah, no shit.
You and I've known you for a while now. You're sort of funny.
You didn't get the benefit of seeing Sanford's face with that. Time for the tagline, Jim.
Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Y'all
Y'all have a good weekend. And we'll see you on Tuesday, I hope. Bye-bye, y'all.
I think it's pretty clear we all have issues. No
Yeah.
kidding.
No shit.